Hey everybody, welcome back to Why Not RV. On this week's episode, we're going to go ahead and be installing the rear view camera on the Airstream that is for the GM towing camera setup, so I can have the invisible trailer as well as just a nice backup camera that is wired to the truck. Let's get to it. Now we're going to break this video up into two parts. Still one video, but I'll put a marker here on the screen. So if you want to just fast forward to the calibration portion. Okay, so first we're going to do the install. Second, we're going to do the calibration. From what I've seen online, the calibration can be kind of tricky. A lot of people have a hard time with it. I'm going to see how I do with it. I'm not in a very ideal environment to be doing it because you're supposed to be going straight and slow for a while, and really the only straight area we have around here is the interstate, and you're supposed to be going basically 30 miles an hour for this thing to calibrate. So I'm gonna have a difficult time, but I have an area downtown. I'm hoping I can have a long stretch of road that's decently straight and will work for me. But let's get right to the install. First thing you have to do whenever you're installing the GM trailer camera is be fully hitched up, because the first thing you need to do is measure from your truck bed, the truck rear view camera to the ground when you're hitched up, because the camera on the back is supposed to be 4 inches higher than that. But at the same time, that center point, you have 4 inches either way, up, down, left, right, as a window. So let's go ahead and measure this and see on the back of the Airstream if I got a good spot for it. Okay, so you can see I'm basically right at 56 inches from the floor to the camera. So that means ideally we should be at 60 inches on the back, which I think might be a little bit too high. Let's find out. Okay, so for me, from floor to 60 inches is basically right at this belly band, the bit of chrome strip right here. Now again, obviously I'm not going to put a camera right on that. I'm not going to go any higher because I have my glass here. But what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to replace this camera. I'm going to put it right here because that's just about 4 inches below where it's recommended to be. And again, picture your center point being, like, let's say this level right here is my 60-inch mark. If you can get a camera right there, that's perfect. But you have a 4-inch up, down, left, and right to mount the camera, and it still work good. So I'm just going to go right down below this. Is about 4 inches, and that's where I'm going to mount my camera. Now, I'm not showing you how I'm uninstalling this camera just because this is an aftermarket camera that I put on year and a half ago, or whenever it was that I first got this trailer, 2 years ago, and it's been working fine. That camera's been great. So if you've seen that video, it's a great camera. I just really want the interaction of my onboard infotainment system with the camera system and that invisible camera mode for safety and travel and just visibility and all that type of stuff. So I'm just switching over to the GM camera because of that. But this camera that I had on here with the solar panel and stuff, I have a video which I'll link in the description below if you want to check that out. Very simple, no wires back here. It's a little solar panel. It's been great, no problems. But again, I'm not going to show you how I'm uninstalling this because this is aftermarket. Every travel trailer is different, RV's different, Airstream's different, box trailer's different. So if you're watching this, I'm not showing you how to uninstall. Okay, so actual quick update. I decided I did want to go ahead and just mount it up high because the mounting plate for the back of it, how big it was kind of going to overflap my Flying Cloud emblem right here anyways. So I just went ahead and removed the emblem, put new rivets in. I'm going to put the camera up high where it's supposed to be, right at that 60-inch mark. I'm going to redo my Flying Cloud down here. All right, now that I know where I'm mounting this, I went ahead and marked and drilled my holes for the pilots. Obviously, I took the camera out of the bracket just to make it easier. I also took the little top tab off that was at the top of this thing, which was just meant for like guiding the cable up. If you were doing a roof or a higher trailer application, I'm actually gonna be shooting the cable down. So I just bent that piece off, covered it with some electrical tape to protect it from weathering, but that's it. We're gonna go ahead and mount that right there. Okay, so now I have the camera mounted. I put the camera back on, and actually just to show you guys, on the side here, it's very difficult. Let me see if I can get that to focus, are different angles, okay? I'm pretty sure this is when it's flat up on the roof. These two, it just depends on your type of trailer, what kind of back you have. This part of the Airstream is decently vertical, or yeah, it's decently vertical. It has a little bit of inward slight. It does say the camera's supposed to be at 35-degree angle, but I just went ahead and tightened it up right here on this first mark for now. Now I can always change that down the road. But next is cable routing. So we're gonna go and route my cable down and under and go underneath to the front. Okay, I got the cable routed nice clean down to under the trailer. I got it going up above everything. I got it going through up there above the axles, and then with my gas line all the way down. I have the extra coiled up right up there, and then it meets up with my 7-pin. Now I'm about to redo my DC to DC charging, so I'm not going to tape this all to my 7-pin yet, because I'm going to redo it anyways here in a couple days for my DC to DC charging. Okay, so as you can see, the install is relatively quick and simple. You just got to find the right mounting point based on your truck, measure it, figure out on your trailer where it can go, get it on there, run your cable, you're done. Now the calibration portion of this is a little bit more complicated, but it actually isn't. So I have been trying to get this thing to calibrate a couple different days. Some people are gonna laugh in the comments about that, but I could not get this thing to calibrate. I had punched in my measurements, which I'm gonna show you guys here in just a second, but I'm trying to prevent you guys from having the same problem. I had punched in all my measurements before I installed this, got it all done, installed, started the truck, took it down into town where I had a straight flat area that I thought it would calibrate. It says right on the screen to basically drive below 31 miles an hour on a clear sunny day on good conditions with a good, basically a painted road, so it has the markings on the road. It also says to monitor the progress of the calibration in the invisible trailer screen under the cameras. But when I went into that, it wouldn't give me the option as a button to click the invisible trailer, and B, I saw no progress bar anywhere. So I just kept driving, and I literally drove for about an hour and a half total between 2 different days to try and get this thing to calibrate. So I went down some forums and I came to realize that maybe there's an issue, so maybe just try changing one measurement in the screen for your truck and trailer and all that stuff, and it'll basically force a new calibration to start and recalibrate it that way. As soon as I did that, bam, popped up with a little progress bar. It only took 20 seconds. Very simple, very quick, easy to calibrate. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, so let's go over what you need to do once you come into the setup screen. First, pick your trailer, how many axles it has. Bam, done. And actually, I think even before that, it asks what type of trailer this is that you're setting up, such as enclosed trailer, a travel trailer, a couple other options. So now we get into our measurements, and it very blatantly tells you exactly what you're supposed to measure, where you're supposed to measure from, and you just input every single one. Very, very simple. Okay, so once you have your measurements put in, now we're going to go ahead and actually get into the calibration portion. Okay, so, and like it says, right now it says not calibrated, and it tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. Forward in a straight line, it'll pause when you turn, stay on a flat, visibly textured road, drive below 31, daytime with good weather, and then open the transparent trailer view camera to monitor the progress. Okay, sorry, I didn't catch it when it had the progress bar. I was focusing on the calibration portion itself, but it brought up a calibration bar, and it just filled in pretty darn quickly. And you can see, like, look at that yellow line. It just matches perfectly. It is very, very smooth. Now, sorry, it thought I was turning, so it brought up that camera. But look at how straight and smooth that is. Now you can see these poles. So watch in this corner for the light pole. It's going to show up on the camera, on the bumper first, bam, and then a second later it shows up on that rear portion. But that is your invisible trailer. So if you've already bought your trailer camera and you didn't double check the exact part number, I'm going to put them up here on the screen, okay? Because for 2020 to 2023 trucks and all the vehicles that have the invisible trailer and whatnot, the last digit on the part number is a 4. However, from 2024 and 2025, and I assume all the newer ones since from there on, the last digit is a 5. It looks identical. Everything about the plug and harness is identical. Literally, it's just a difference of the camera being a different voltage. And I didn't know this, and the GM dealership where I first bought the first camera didn't know this, and they ordered me the one that ended in a 4 because it's what comes up when you type in GM trailer camera. And long story short, I would plug it in and it was just a black screen on my infotainment system. It wouldn't load up a camera. And at first I thought maybe it was because it was the calibration whole thing. I didn't really know. Long story short, it was because it's the wrong camera. It goes off the wrong voltage. They updated some stuff here in the electronics of these trucks in 2024 and newer. And so you need to make sure you have the right camera. So if you have a black screen, you might just have the wrong part number. Now, if when you go to calibrate, you're not getting up the little calibration bar on the invisible trailer button option under all the cameras, if that's not happening, you might as well just pull over, change one of the measurements, and start the calibration over again, because I went around for, like I said, a couple hours literally trying to get the thing to calibrate, all because it wasn't even calibrating to begin with. For whatever reason, the system, with me putting in the information before I had the camera done, whatever it was about it, didn't communicate well. But once I changed a number on there, bam, it worked immediately. It went, like I said, 20 seconds and it was done. It calibrated very, very quickly. All right, everybody, that's it for this week's video. I hope you learned something, took away something for yourself. Again, relatively simple process, but the calibration thing could be a little bit tricky depending on, your order of doing stuff. And if it does, like I said, just change a number, recalibrate, it goes through pretty quickly. That's how it should go. If it doesn't go really quickly, something went wrong, try again. But make sure to leave a comment down below, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Why Not RV. Bye.